Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55. It's the Tier 9 American SPG located on the eastbourne of Airfield. This one is under the command of CL1CKER. And I think that we've got no sound, but we'll just verify that when it reaches the end. And if it does, nope, no sound, so we restart again. Yes, Wargaming still haven't fixed their program, which is a bit of a pity, but we can advance this forward. And the battle starts. That's better. Well, there's something unusual about this M53 and M55, and I think you can see it straight away. 3 marks of excellence on the barrel, which means that CL1CKER is living up to his name, and he's actually quite a good shot and a good player, because he's getting consistent damage on the enemy. The M53 M55 was based on the M47 pattern. It's basically in reverse, actually, because it's the rear of the tank at the front and the front of the tank at the rear. And of course there's no turret for a tank gun, but there is a howitzer mounted in a rear mounted turret. And I will be providing some information on the location of some of the modules on this vehicle later on in the video. It's a 2 replay video. We've got 2 replays from CL1CKER. He's very active. Rams out. Oh, good hits! Solid hits on the Centurion 1 for 421, and he picks up stun assist afterwards. Now, you notice CL1CKER actually changes position just about every shot, or at least when he feels that he needs to. Standard reload for this Arty is 40.27 seconds. CL1CKER's got 33.65. The enemy just lost their Centurion 1, and he's now going to go after their TNH 105 1000. Rounds out straight away. Another direct hit for 365. His 8-inch howitzer is quite effective. 203mm, it's capable of doing 900 alpha if it pens, and penetrating 52mm of armour. Obviously the armour on the TNH is actually quite a bit stronger. But there are some enemy vehicles in this game, and it's a Tier 9 game with Tier 8 tanks in it, who actually have fairly light armour, so he might be able to get pens on some of them. Now that's definitely going to be a difficult shot, and I think until, yeah, he's found the TNH again, because he can't see the GSOR. The GSOR suddenly come back into view, and I think he's saying, yeah, I want to reacquire that one. So he's lining up a shot, and rounds out. And another hit! 340 this time. Good target selection. He didn't get a pen on the GSOR, but he's actually seriously wounded that guy by both hitting him and stunning him. Didn't get any stun assist off the GSOR though, because our teammates couldn't actually get at him quickly enough. But we do have a few teammates nearby. That Skoda's down at the bottom of the cliff. Looks like the GSOR might be trying to get a shot on him. And now we've got a Charview 2-4. He's dialed in. He's almost ready to shoot. And the Charview 2 is moving. And unfortunately we lost that Skoda T50. And there goes the GSOR. You notice CL1CKER didn't shoot at any of those moments. He would have lost the shell if he had, because I think the targets were going to die. But I think I just saw a tracer from an enemy Arty that might be in that water just behind the Temple Mount, the middle mount in the middle of the lake, in middle of the map. I call it Temple Mount because obviously there's a Greek temple at the rear, at the south end of it. In fact, there's amphitheatre as well as Greek temples. When you see those columns, you think, yep, that's a temple. Okay, we've just spotted a Patriot, but we can't hit him easily. But there's somebody we might be able to hit and might be able to damage, and it's a Barask. He just had a quick look. He's adjusting, thinking about going for the TNH. No, he can't hit any of them. The north position is quite a good position to fire from for some targets, but it's not good all the time. Sometimes it can be a bit restrictive. A lot of players actually go to the south. In fact, one of our teammates in the game. A GW Tiger has gone to the south, so he's using that angle. TNH rounds out. Direct hit! Now I think you noticed there that the actual time between him firing the shell and arriving at the target was very, very short. That is because the target is much closer up here. It's a little more dangerous up here because you might actually get spotted by the enemy. You might get shot at, especially if they've got light tanks along the north edge of the airstrip. And there is an ELC M90 on the north of the airstrip, but we've got a Striv S1 holding him back. Okay, he's reloaded again, ready to go. We've got a Kampfpanzer 07R8 on the move, rounds out, and oh, wiped out. It hit the engine deck and took him out altogether. He didn't have much in the way of hit points left, but still managed to get 247 off him before he expired. And you notice how he immediately went to hug the wall just in case the enemy Arty, a Batchat 155, 55 or their FV3805 decided to respond. They must know by now that he is up here. They just don't know where, that's the thing. I just saw buildings being destroyed in the village, so we know one of the enemy tanks is in the village. There he is. Scorpion G, perfect target. Almost dialed in, and oh, he's gone. Okay, we can't hit that Char Future 4 at the moment. If he comes up that slope, we might be able to. Oh, and we just lost one of our teammates, but we're going for the Char Future 4. Lined up, round out, and oh, well, the Char Future 4 died to our Scorpion just before our shell arrived, but it would have hit the target, so CL1CKER was on target. Okay, we're one up on the enemy at the moment. Well, no, we've just lost that advantage. Okay, the standard B's coming to sight. He's at the far end, and he's now about to get a round up his ass. Rounds out. Here we go. Yeah, 390 meters. Yeah, that's an enemy he's not going to forget. .390 meters, I say, 390 hit points. Standard B's not happy, he's still stunned. Okay, we're looking around for another target. I suspect now that the Arty I saw down in the pool wasn't an Arty at all. It may have been the tracer coming from the SU-130 PM, who was spotted in that vicinity. In fact, he's now been spotted a little further south. We've got a line up, dialing in, here we go. Rounds out, moves back into the track, and no, nothing. Now, one of the bad things about the M55 is you only get 20 rounds of ammunition. It's 203mm ammunition. It's very big. If you've ever seen any videos, and there is one by the Chieftain, on YouTube, which actually shows the size of the well, in fact actually he goes over an M53 M55, and you get to see how big the racks are at the back of the tank. And he gets another hit, this time on the Wizzy 114, the new tank that's come into the game, the reward tank from the marathon. Now we're a little down on hit points, but not by much. So, well, 1300 hit points. That's basically one tank's worth, and of course we are down by one tank at the moment. He thinks that the enemy's in that corner. Can't get a shot on the Wizzy 114 at the moment because the hill, or that rock. He's looking in that direction. Is he going to go for the standard B? It looks like the ISU 152K just put a big round through. Oh, he hits the Wizzy 114 as he goes through the pass, and he picks up load of stun assist off that as well. Very well planned, because he actually knew that vehicle was going to go through the pass, going after our T54 Mob 1. Unfortunately, he did, or rather the T54 got taken out by the standard B instead. But it was good that he hit that Wizzy, because obviously it gave our guys the chance to take him out directly after he got hit. 7 rounds left. He's got 2 rounds of special HE as well. The one which actually has no stun but extra damage. So 9 rounds in total, but 7 rounds of HE. Okay, TNH 105 1000 lined up. Rounds out. Will he get it? Well, he splashed it to death, and that's another kill. 259 hit points from the splash. I think he knew that that TNH was still within the blast radius. Hugs the rock again to avoid counter battery, and then goes back to his old position. Okay, we're running out of targets to shoot at now, because although there's still one more enemy tank than we've got, only 6 enemies left. 2 of them are Arty, and 2 tank destroyers and a heavy tank on our side. On the enemy team, they've got 2 medium tanks, a tank destroyer and a heavy tank. But they're being very cautious, and, well, we can't see any of the enemy at the moment. We know the Patriot was last seen near their cap area. We know the Barask was last seen in the pocket, and the Standard B at the south, or the west side, rather, of Temple Mount. So we've got to assume that the Barask is probably still in the pocket. But when he sees that there's no enemy outside the pocket, he might decide to come out. He's having a quick look at the pass. ISU 152K takes the opportunity to reposition. Hopefully he's going to go up on the ramp at C9? D9. And he'll be able to protect. No, he's headed back to the cap area. So they're going very defensive. Wizzy 114's joining him. That's not good news, because it means that once they've head back to the cap area, there's no one spotting for CLECKER. So he's really going to have to focus his gun on the area near the cap area. Hopefully the enemy will come into sight as they try to take the cap. Well, the ISU 152K has gone up onto the ramp like I hoped, and now these Patriots come into sight, and that's a very dangerous place to go. As you can see, he got wiped out by the shot from CLECKER, so he's gone, and that evens the score. And now we can see a Nunez 03 in there as well. Okay, Standard B down the south. Can't get a shot on him at the moment. He's holding down his right button to keep the aim on the amphitheater before he... Oh, there he is. There he is. Line him up and work out where he's going. Stays stationary for a moment, but unfortunately moves as quickly as he can after he knows the shell's inbound. So we only get a bit of splash and stun. Okay, the Baraska's turned up. That's the 2-minute warning. This is quite an end game. The enemies, well, they have the initiative. They don't have the advantage now, though. We've got more hit points than them. Well, we did have more hit points. Now we've lost it. He goes for the Unas, and he gets a hit. 357, good hit. Yeah, the enemy's definitely trying to attack on the south. The Wizzy 114 on our team has actually decided to try and have a go at the enemy by heading in their direction towards their cap. So he's not helping the team. Well, there goes the Standard B. The SU-130 actually gets the kill. And the Barask is looking to try and get a kill himself. And yes, he does. CLECKER, need you to line up a shot on that Barask. Bounce out. Oh, beautiful shot. That's a pen. 782 hit points on the Barask. A low roll pen. But it definitely penned the Barask. And now we're in the last minute. So the Barask cannot cap out on his own. Even if the UDES joins him, he probably won't have enough time. And I don't think he's going to be able to get at the ISU 152K without being shot. And yes, he did get shot. So the Barask is gone. It's now 3 versus 2. The Wizzy 114 on our team won't be able to do anything. He might be able to... Well, he did find one of the enemy Arty. We're firing blind at the bush. Just in case the enemy's in that bush. It's a well-known firing position. But we're running out of time. And yes, he was there. So I think he splashed him. Will the 114 get the kill? Yes, he does. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for CL1CKER in the M53 M55. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 23 in that. He got 5 critical hits alone on the Barask with that one big shot that penetrated him. He also got a Gauze medal for doing more damage than 8 times the hit points to his own vehicle. A Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And he got the high caliber as well for dealing the most damage. But unfortunately it was a draw because we couldn't find the last remaining enemy within the time period before the end of the game. So let's have a look at the team score and see where he was. Well, definitely got the highest damage with 5,133 hit points. The second highest damage in the game actually went to the Barask on the enemy team, the tank that CL1CKER hit right towards the end. 3,656 hit points to him. And the third highest damage in the game actually went to the GW Tiger on our team with 2,578. When it came to kills, it was actually the Barask on the enemy team. He got the best with 5. 3 kills went to CL1CKER and also to the Wizzy 114 on our team, the guy who actually went out on his own towards the end. And of course the ISU 152K was also still alive at the end. He did get that Barask, but he got 2 kills, which puts him in joint 4th place. Was it 4th place or 3rd place with the FV3805 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, it's actually CL1CKER who came 2nd because the Barask got 771. I think that's mainly because he was killing higher tier opponents. He was tier 8 and he was killing tier 9s. So he earned more XP, but only just because he got 771 and CL1CKER actually got 768. So there was only 3 experience points in it at the end. The third highest XP was the Patriot on the enemy team with 531. When it came to details, he fired 17 rounds, so he still had 3 rounds left at the end of the game. 10 direct hits on the enemy, 2 of them were penetrations. 14 splash, damage of 5,133 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 3, and did 1,098 hit points of stun assist off 13 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 36,913 credits, got 3,726 for the Achievements Award. That's because he got Epic and Battle Hero medals in a losing or drawn game. 60,959 credits altogether, and after ammunition resupply and consumables took away 9,169 credits profit. 768 XP for the battle, 453 for the Achievements Award again, took away 1,832 experience points altogether. So I said that I would actually give you a little sneak peek at the M53 and where the modules are, so you can actually see if you are up against one of these. You can see here that it is based on the Patton tank with the engine right up front. There you can see with the transmission right at the very front. So if you shoot at the very front of the vehicle, you're going to be hitting like the rear of Patton. So it is fairly tough armor on the front of the vehicle and the engine area, but it is basically like hitting the rear of a heavy tank. So it's 25, was it 25 millimeters? I think it's actually 12.7, but no, don't quote me on that. 25.4 is at the front, sorry, 25.4 millimeters at the front, which is the rear of the M47 Patton. You can see the fuel tanks are either side of the engine. If you look at the vehicle itself, you can actually see that the gunner, there's 2 of them, is on both sides of the gun. One deals with the elevation, the other one with the orientation of the gun, the azimuth. And the commander is back here. Rather unusual position to be, but he's in the rear cupola on the left-hand side of the vehicle. The driver is up front here, right in the turret. He's quite in a high position. He's got those viewports, so he can actually see where to aim. And you can see that there's two loaders as well, both at the back of the vehicle. Normally, obviously, the vehicle, when it's ready to fire, would actually drop down the back of the tailgate, as you can see here. And then, of course, the ammo racks, which are on either side at the back, they would feed the shells into the breech of the howitzer. And in fact, actually, when the tailgate's open at the back, then most of the rest of the crew will dismount and assist with the loading. And so if you look at the back of the vehicle, if you shoot right through the back, you'll probably hit the engine of the tank rather than the engine of the Arty. But if you want to ammo rack this vehicle, you have to aim for the sides at the back, because that's where they are. And if you want to hit the crew, well, the best place to actually aim is on the left-hand side as you're looking at one, because you're likely to take out one of the gunners and the commander, and possibly hit the ammo rack or the loader at the rear if you do shoot through the front of the vehicle. Other than that, if you want to take out the driver, you just aim for the right hand side with all those little ports, and that makes it fairly easy. So there you go, there's the modules, and thanks for the website that actually enables you to do this, and that's Armor Inspector. I do leave a link in the description below the video, so you can actually go and see these for yourself. Look up your favourite tank and find out where the modules are, or look up a tank that you tend to shoot at a lot, work out where its modules are, and then maybe you'll be able to set off the ammo racks or make it set it on fire. Anyway, that's the end of the first replay. Let's have a look at the second one, and this time round it's an FV3805. Welcome back to what... And here we are on the Cliff map, and now CL1CKER is in the FV3805. You can see he's got 2 marks of excellence on the barrel, and the battle is about to start. Now you may notice that he's actually blue on the team list. Yes, unfortunately Wargaming's penalised him because he may have actually hit or damaged some of his teammates in another battle. So he's got to work that off by doing less damage to his own team and more damage to the enemy. The FV3805 was a development made during the 50s by the British, based on the Centurion tank. They made 2 prototypes in 1957, but they discontinued the project, so they didn't actually go ahead with building any more vehicles. And the 2 prototypes actually ended up as firing range transport vehicles. Good shot on that 50 TP, 354 hit points to start with. Now there's a variety of guns you can have in the FV3805. You can either use the 5.5 inch SP, which of course has got a fairly fast fire rate, but of course much less on the damage, or you can use the 6-inch gun, which is basically the equivalent to a 152mm caliber gun, or the 7.2 inch, and that's what CL1CKER's using in this one. It works out to be 182mm caliber, or close to 183. It's got alpha of 850 and penetration of 46mm. He didn't kill the LT432, but he did get some hit points off him, 304. And unfortunately, the LT432 then killed our Skoda T56. So I suspect that CL1CKER is a bit annoyed that he didn't get in the first time. The LT432's gone unspotted. There he is again. Oh, he's trying to go up the hill. Makes him an easy shot. Rounds out. Yes! Nice kill. Yeah, big mistake to go up that path if you've already been badly damaged, because if you do, you make yourself an easy shot for the Arty, because you have to stay on course to go up that, otherwise you slip down the side of the cliff. So yes, that LT432's only got himself to blame for being wiped out in that one. Okay, 50 TP, trying to line up the shots. Difficult. Rounds out. Long flight time. Oh! Well, RNG said no, and the shell hit the ridgeline instead of hitting the 50 TP. We've got a Tornvarn there as well. And in fact, it looks like the enemy's kind of in a hull-bound position on the side of the cliff, shooting at our teammates as they went round the cliff edge. So that Tornvarn's got to be a priority target, and he just took some damage. So I think that CL1CKER might be able to get the kill. Rounds out. A good hit, but he didn't kill him. But the IS-3 on our team did. He got the kill immediately afterwards. It was only 4 hit points. But at least CL1CKER picked up 349 from damage and 4 from stun assist. Looks like he's switching now to the 50 TP. Oh, found an IS-3 on the enemy team who's stationary. And he's hugging that rock for protection, which makes him an easy target. Rounds out. Yes, that's a direct hit. So he's probably clicked that guy for at least 300, 350 hit points. Switching back to the 50 TP. He's hugging the rock face as well, trying to avoid fire. Oh, we've got a TNH T-Viz 51. It's a tier 9 game with tier 8 tanks in it, by the way. Lining up the shot. Rounds out. Looks good. It is good. 353 from a non-pen shot. You notice he's adjusting just a tiny bit after each shot, just to change the position slightly to fool any enemy Arty. The enemy Arty in this game is an SU-14-2, the school bus, and an M53, M55. Okay, he's loaded, ready to go, fires a blind shot in, and he hits the 50 TP with a direct hit. Looks like our 50 TP's found the enemy one, and he's still stunned, which means that CL1CKER is actually picking up stun assist off this one, and that's going to help him to get an ace tanker if he can get enough. Okay, the enemy 50 TP is protecting our 50 TP, but if CL1CKER fires in now, he might kill the enemy, but he might damage his teammate as well. Well, he did get the kill, but he's lost any chance of getting a high caliber now, because he did stun and splash our own 50 TP. That enemy IS-3 is in sight. We can see he didn't lose much from that direct hit. Only 14% of his hit points. But the next round's about to go in. Rounds out. Here we go. Another direct hit. 243 this time. T95 sitting at the other end of the Western Pass. He's decided he doesn't want to go for that target just yet, or is he? He's holding the aim on it because now an AT-15's there. So if he hits the T95, there's a good chance he might stun that AT-15 as well. Rounds out. Direct hit on the T95. Only 14 hit points though, because it hit the heavy armor. Okay, standard reload for this RT with this gun is 35.47 seconds. CL1CKER's got 28.97, so he's actually reduced it quite a lot. He's probably using vents as well as a rammer, and he is using premium consumables because that really does help to reduce the loading time, improve the accuracy. He's marked the T95 as his target, dialing in. Always helps our teammates to let them know where you're firing. The shell landed behind the T95 this time. He managed to dodge that shell by moving forward, but he still got stunned in the process. The only tank we've got down on that corner at the moment is the Tortoise. The Striv S1 on our team is actually hanging back quite a long way back, and I think that might be down to the enemy tanks on the donut, and here they are. An E50 and a TNH 105-1000. Trying to get the shot lined up. We are loaded, but unfortunately they're in the in defilade. They're in the lee of that cliff, and we can't get a shot. But we can hit the TNH. Dialing in. Line it up. Just wait for him to move forward. That's it. Rounds out. And it lands alongside him for 99, but he gets stun assist immediately afterwards. Yeah, I think that Caliban fired an HE round in, and the Caliban's now in a bit of trouble. Unfortunately, he's now been taken out. Okay, the enemy T-95's managed to move up on our Tortoise. He is receiving fire from the strip though, and that's a direct hit for 192, so HE is having an effect. Score's fairly even at the moment. Well, the enemy just lost one. They lost the AT-15, taken out by our Object 704. In fact, it looks like the enemy's about to lose a lot of tanks, because we've taken control of the south side of the donut, and yeah, these enemy are now in a bit of a pickle. So if we can hit the guard and the other enemy tanks that are guarding the donut, then our teams can move in and clear that area and then take care of the T-95. The guards pulled back to the corner. Their E-50's moving up. Oh, we lost the Super Pershing. But looks like the guard's coming back. Rounds out, and yes, that hurt. 351. That was a good shot. And the guard went down, which means now our teams can move in. And now the enemy T-95 and their TNH are in a bit of a pickle because they're caught between two groups. And there goes the TNH. E-50's next. Lining up a shot. This could be a kill shot. Rounds out. It is. 179. That's the third kill now for CL1CKER. Okay, the enemy's now 4 tanks down, and normally at this point in the tier 9 battle that means it's virtually unrecoverable. You have to go some to do it. IS-3 taken out by the 704. They're now down to just 4 tanks left. One of them is supposedly at the tank destroyer high position at A5 up on the hill. There he is, and he just killed our Wizzy 132. Rounds out. Oh, good shot. 293 hit points of damage, 749 of stun assist. He's racking up the damage now. 3,500 of actual damage, 2,000 of stun assist. That means he's potentially on for an ace tanker. There goes the Mutz. And that means now the enemy only has 2 Arty left. One of them's bound to be down in this area. So I think that CL1CKER's going to fire a round in. And, oh, he's got distracted. There's the M53, M55. Bounce out. And he gets a kill. And just leaves the school bus left. And he won't last long. And he's gone. And that is the end of the battle. So, a great little battle there for CL1CKER. Here's the end of battle stats, and it was an ace tanker game for CL1CKER in the FV3805. He got a Gauss medal for doing more damage than 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle, a bruiser for getting at least 5 critical hits, in fact he got 10 in this one, and he got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills because he took out that enemy Arty right at the end of the game, the M53 and FV55. Who took a big hit from one of our teammates right at the end of the game, so all he had to do was splash him to take him out. Let's have a look at team score. Well, look at this. He didn't get the highest damage in the game, but he got very close to, because the highest scorer was the Bisonte C45 with 4,337, and then we've got CL1CKER with 4,148, so he wasn't far behind the leader, but he wouldn't have picked up the high caliber regardless, because he did wound one of his own teammates when he took out the 50 TP. The Bisonte did pick up a high caliber in that game, and the third highest damage in the game actually went to the TNH T-Viz 51 on the enemy team with 3,427. When it came to kills, he shared the top spot with the Bisonte. They both had 4 kills apiece, and 3 kills went to the TNH T-Viz 51. And when it came to base XP, it's actually the Bisonte who gets it on this count with 1,599, whilst CL1CKER managed to get 1,290, and the Tortoise managed to get 1,038. The only reason the Bisonte beat him was the Bisonte is a tier 8 and CL1CKER is a tier 9. So obviously Bisonte was earning more XP for every tier 9 that he was hitting, 10% more, and that made the difference overall. CL1CKER fired 19 rounds, got 13 direct hits on the enemy, but he didn't actually get any penetrations. 22 splash, damage of 4,148 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 4, and he did 3,030 hit points of stun assist off 17 stuns, and I'm sure that's what gave him the ace tanker. 48,995 credits for the game, 8,525 from personal missions payout, and after ammunition resupply took away 47,248 credits profit. 1,290 XP took away 1,935. As usual, I'm going to supply information on the modules of the vehicles so you can actually see where they are located in the vehicle. In this one, based on the Centurion tank, again, it's a tank in reverse. It's an Arty that's actually got a tank in reverse. The engine's at the front of the vehicle and the fuel tank's either side, but it's basically a Centurion hull which has been turned around so that when it drives forward, obviously it's driving a tank in reverse, you might say. Anyway, you can see on this one that the driver is actually located on the far right side of the vehicle as you're looking at it, and next to him is the gunner, and he's actually in the turret, and the opposite side is the commander of the vehicle, and he's got a little viewport. The gunner's actually got his own sort of like periscope at the back there. There's 2 loaders. They're sitting right at the back of the vehicle. Normally if it was stationary and firing, they'd be dismounted and the rear of the vehicle would be opened, and they'd be accessing the ammo racks, which are actually located on the rear of the vehicle. You can see there exactly where they are, and they'd be taking those out and feeding the howitzer. We can see that the radio is right next door to the commander who's sitting there. So everybody's in the crew compartment at the back, and they've got the engine at the front of the vehicle, kind of protecting them from the front fire that's coming directly in. If you aim for the center mass of the vehicle, you'll probably hit the engine. But yes, so if you want to set this one off, you aim for the rear of the vehicle because you're much more likely to get a penetration and a detonation if you can hit the rear of an FV3805. So if you're in an Arty, the best place to aim for is the rear of the vehicle, obviously. If you want to disable it, you want to hit the front of the vehicle on the engine deck. So there you go. I hope that's useful for you. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.